Do you ever catch yourself making a decision that looks perfectly reasonable on paper, yet something inside you quietly whispers, "This isn't right"? Maybe you agree to a project even though your stomach tightens the moment you say yes. Maybe you start messaging someone new even though your shoulders tense every time their name appears. Or maybe you buy something expensive even though your breath gets shallow the second you click checkout. Later, you tell yourself, "But logically, it made sense. I understood everything." And still the outcome feels wrong. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's one of the most universal human experiences. You know something in your head, yet your body knew the truth long before your thoughts caught up. Today, we're going to explore why that happens. You'll learn how your body functions as an inner barometer, a silent early warning system that detects emotional signals far faster than your conscious mind. And more importantly, you'll learn how to read these signals so you can catch anxiety, false desires, or bad decisions before they harden into choices you regret. Let's begin with a simple truth about your brain. Thought is slow, but the body is fast. Your conscious mind, the part that uses logic, language, and reasoning, takes time to interpret information. But your body, your nervous system, your breath, your micromuscles, reacts instantly, long before a thought forms. Think of your body as the first responder and your conscious mind as the investigator who arrives later, takes notes, and claims credit. The problem is most of us trust only the investigator. We ignore the first responder even though it has far more direct access to emotion, memory, and internal states. If you've ever ignored a nervous gut feeling only to regret it later, you've felt this gap firsthand. To understand why your body knows the truth before your mind does, we need to look at how emotions actually work. Emotions don't start as thoughts. They start as sensations, micro changes in your muscles, posture, breath, and heartbeat. Long before you think "I'm anxious," your body has already accelerated your pulse, tightened your chest, and narrowed your breathing. Long before you think "I don't trust this person," your neck may stiffen slightly or your shoulders may rise. Long before you think "this goal isn't actually mine," you might notice heaviness, hesitation, or a strange resistance when you imagine doing it. What you call intuition is often your body translating stored emotional patterns faster than your conscious mind can. Here's the surprising part. Your body reacts not only to the present moment but also to memories, past experiences, and subconscious associations. In other words, your body knows the emotional meaning of a situation long before you can explain it. This is why you can know logically that something is fine but still feel uneasy. Your thinking brain is working with information. Your body is working with experience. And experience is faster. Let's make this more concrete with an example. Imagine you're offered a job that seems perfect. Better salary, better title, better office. Logically, everything checks out. But when you picture yourself walking into that place every day, your stomach sinks. You find yourself exhaling more sharply. You scroll through the job description and notice your jaw quietly tightening. None of these sensations are random, they're clues. Your body is telling you something your conscious mind can't articulate yet. Maybe the culture reminds you of a place where you burned out. Maybe the work is misaligned with your real strengths. Maybe your values and the company's values don't actually match. Your body detects the emotional pattern instantly. Your thoughts catch up much later. This is what psychologists call interoception, the ability to sense and interpret internal signals from your body. People with strong interoception tend to make better decisions, manage stress more effectively, and detect emotional misalignment faster. People with weak interoception tend to rationalize their way into situations that feel wrong. They listen to the story their mind tells while ignoring the story their body tells. So the real question becomes, how do you strengthen your interoception so your body becomes a reliable compass? One of the simplest ways is to recognize that your body has three primary channels for early emotional signals: tension, breath, and micro movements. Let's explore each one, starting with tension. Tension is the body's way of shouting, "Pay attention." If you feel a sudden tightness when making a decision, even a subtle tightening of your jaw or your fists, that's a sign your nervous system is preparing for discomfort. Not danger necessarily, but emotional friction. Next is breath. Breath responds instantly to emotional cues. When something aligns with your real needs, your breath tends to deepen naturally. You feel a sense of expansion. When something is off, your breath becomes shallow or irregular. Breath is your most reliable barometer because it never lies. Finally, micro movements. These are tiny shifts your body makes without conscious control. Leaning forward or pulling back, crossing your arms, tapping your foot, clenching your toes. When something feels right, your body moves toward it. When something feels off, your body subtly retreats. If you start paying attention to these signals, you'll notice they appear seconds or even minutes before a conscious thought forms. So how do you actually use this inner barometer to make better decisions? Here's a simple but powerful 3-step technique you can start using today. Step 1. Pause before deciding. Most bad decisions come from rushing past the body. Take 2 seconds, not 2 minutes, just 2 seconds, and pay attention. Step 2. Scan for the 3 markers: tension, breath, and micro movements. Ask yourself, do I feel contraction or expansion? Is my breath deepening or tightening? Is my body leaning in or pulling away? Step 3. Trust the signal enough to investigate. This doesn't mean obeying your body blindly. It means treating the sensation as data. If something creates contraction, ask yourself, what emotional need is being triggered? Fear of rejection? Need for approval? Avoidance of discomfort? If something creates expansion, ask, what core value or need is being honored? Authenticity. Autonomy, meaning, over time, you'll start to notice patterns. Certain types of decisions always create contraction. Certain environments always tighten your breath. Certain people always make your shoulders rise. These patterns are the map of your emotional life. And once you learn to read them, you gain a level of self-awareness most people never reach. But there's another layer to the inner barometer that's even more powerful, and most people overlook it completely. Your body doesn't just reveal emotional patterns from the past, it can also predict emotional outcomes in the future. This is called somatic forecasting. Your nervous system runs a micro-simulation of what a choice will feel like before you consciously reflect on it. For example, imagine you're about to say yes to a commitment that deep down you don't want to make. Before you explain or justify anything, your body instantly generates a small surge of tension. It's as if it already knows the future emotional cost, the fatigue, the resentment, the pressure you'll feel in 3 days or 3 weeks. Or picture yourself considering a relationship decision. The thought of staying might create heaviness around your chest. The thought of leaving might bring a burst of lightness, even if the idea is terrifying. This isn't magic, intuition, or mysticism. It's your brain running a prediction model using everything it has learned about you, your boundaries, your values, your patterns, your wounds. And the first place you feel that prediction is in the body. So when you say something doesn't feel right, that feeling is data. In fact, it's some of the most reliable data you have. But to use it effectively, you need structure. So here are 3 practical tools to help you read your body's early warning signals clearly and consistently. The first tool is what I call the microscan pause. Anytime you feel even a slight emotional shift, excitement, stress, pressure, pause for 3 seconds and scan your body from the inside. Start with your breath. Is it deepening or tightening? Move to your chest. Is there openness or constriction? Then check your jaw, shoulders, hands, and stomach. The goal isn't to change anything, it's simply to observe. Because once you observe a sensation, you interrupt the automatic chain reaction where emotion becomes impulse and impulse becomes choice. Most bad decisions happen because you skip the scan and go straight to action. The microscan pause slows the moment down just enough for awareness to enter. The second tool is the alignment visualization. This technique helps you compare the emotional impact of 2 different choices using the body as the measuring device. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine option A as vividly as you can. Don't think about whether it's right or wrong. Just notice what your body does. Does it expand? Contract? Lean forward? Pull back? Then imagine option B and observe the same signals. Whichever option creates deeper breath and less constriction is almost always more aligned with your true needs, even if it feels harder or scarier. It's a way of asking your body to vote before your mind debates. The third tool is something I call the reverse justification test. When you make a decision that isn't aligned with your true needs, your body reacts immediately. Tight breath, elevated pulse, muscle tension. But your mind will start justifying the choice to cover that discomfort. It will say things like, "It's not a big deal. This is objectively the right move," or "I should want this." When you hear yourself entering justification mode, use it as a signal to ask one question. If I couldn't use logic to explain this choice, would my body still say yes? If the answer is no, you're trying to talk yourself into alignment instead of feeling it. Once you begin using these tools, something subtle but powerful happens. You start catching emotional signals earlier. You start noticing the difference between fear and misalignment, between excitement and pressure, between desire and avoidance. And gradually, the body stops being a source of confusion and becomes a source of clarity. It's important to acknowledge that listening to your body isn't always comfortable. Sometimes your body tells you a truth you'd rather not hear, that a relationship is draining you, that a job is slowly breaking you down, that a goal you've been chasing for years was never really yours. That discomfort isn't failure, it's the beginning of wisdom. Your body doesn't care about social approval, productivity, or how things look from the outside. It cares about whether your inner world feels safe, connected, meaningful, and authentic. So when your breath tightens around a decision, it might be signaling a boundary you've been ignoring. When your shoulders tense in a conversation, it might be highlighting a person you don't fully trust. When your stomach drops at the thought of a dream opportunity, it might be telling you that the dream doesn't belong to you. What this means is that you already have an internal compass. It just speaks a language you were never taught to understand. The more you learn to read that language, the less you will rely on overthinking, overanalyzing, or outsourcing your judgment to others. At some point, you begin to notice a profound shift. Your body isn't just warning you about danger, it's also signaling alignment, truth, and direction. That sense of expansion you feel when an idea excites you, that's your need for growth waking up. The warmth in your chest around certain people, that's your nervous system recognizing safety and connection. The calm you feel after saying no, that's your boundaries reinforcing your identity. When you learn to trust these signals, decisions stop feeling like battles. You don't argue with yourself for hours. You don't oscillate between options until you're exhausted. A quiet sense of clarity begins to replace the noise. And that clarity isn't loud or dramatic. It often feels like a gentle exhale, a softening, an inner yes. The truth is, your body has been speaking for years. You've just been taught to listen only to your mind. But when your body and mind work together, you move through the world with a different kind of confidence, the kind that comes not from certainty, but from alignment. And if this video helped you take even a small step towards sensing that alignment within yourself, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Mind Unlocked. Every episode here is designed as a toolkit for better thinking, deeper self-understanding, and a more grounded, authentic life. One where your mind listens to your body, and your body finally gets to speak.